in the class of M201. This is our paper code, and we know that our paper name is Mathematics 2. We are in the module 4, that is Laplace transform. This is our first class of Laplace transform, where we are going to learn the basic concepts of Laplace transforms as well as some very basic problems applying the concepts of Laplace transform. So let us bring the concept of Laplace transform in the journey of engineering mathematics, and let us check what we are now going to learn. When we are actually having the Laplace transform, it basically in the field of engineering mathematics required for the replacement of operation. Now, replacement of which operation? We are basically interested in the replacement of operations of calculus by operations of algebra. We will actually see this particular thing after some class, but this is the actual motto for which we are actually learning this, because operations of calculus are sometimes little bit tougher than the operations of algebra. So if by any tool we can convert the operations of calculus by the operations of algebra, then the problems becomes various and very easy for us, and we are going to learn this application of this tool for this particular platform. So what are the basic assumptions we are having here? Ft is a given function which is defined for all t greater than or equal to 0. This has to be the first condition. Then what we are doing, that then we multiply ft, that means the given function, by e to the power minus st. So everyone please follow the steps sequentially, where s is a parameter. We can take this parameter as real or complex both. Next, what we are going to do, then we are going to integrate this product term with respect to t, and the range is from 0 to infinity. One thing to be mentioned, that here this parameter is independent of t. Okay, so now what we are getting, please check, we are getting 0 to infinity e to the power minus st ft dt. Two things to be mentioned. First of all, this integration, we can easily identify that this integration is an improper integration because of this upper limit. This integration may exist, may not. If it exists, then we call it the Laplace transform of ft. Okay, and we are denoting it by fs, or sometimes we are denoting it by f bar s. Anything you can use. The question is why we are getting this s. So please check, when we are taking a function of t and we are multiplying it by e to the power minus st, then this product term with respect to t when integrated will give you the expression where s will be present as well as t will also be present. But when you are thinking about the limits 0 and infinity, then substituting them, that is 0 and infinity, you are substituting it in place of t. So the remaining expression what you are getting is in terms of s. And if this integration exists, then this result will be in terms of s. That is why we are denoting it by fs or f bar s. Here one point to be noted, that is here s is greater than 0. So this is the definition of Laplace transform. We will start applying some properties of Laplace transform and then some basic problems now in the next slide. So our first property for Laplace transform is linearity property. What we get in the linearity property is that if we take t as a transformation, and if I can show that t of c1 f1t plus c2 f2t is equal to c1 t of f1t plus c2 t of f2t, then we can claim that t is a linear transformation. Now if we are trying to check whether the Laplace transform what we have learned just in the last slide, whether it is linear transformation or not, so we can write Laplace transform of c1 f1t plus c2 f2t, where c1 and c2 are any two constants. So from the definition of Laplace transform, we can write it as 0 to infinity e to the power minus st c1 f1t plus c2 f2t dt. Now in the next line, just by distributing as per the integration properties, I can write c1 0 to infinity e to the power minus st f1t dt plus c2 integration 0 to infinity e to the power minus st f2t dt. Now from the definition of Laplace transform of f1t, in the next line I can write c1 Laplace transform of f1t plus c2 Laplace transform of f2t. So we have started with Laplace transform of c1 f1t plus c2 f2t, and we have reached to c1 of Laplace transform of f1t plus c2 into Laplace transform of f2t, and it shows that Laplace transform is linear. Not only that, we can easily generalize this concept for C1, C2, C3, C4 up to Cn. Now let us move for some very basic problems of Laplace transform. So we can start it with Laplace transform of 1. So according to definition, it will be 0 to infinity e to the power minus st into 1 then dt. Though it is a problem of improper integration, but it is very basic problem, that is why we are not following the limiting concept over here, but when it will be needed we will obviously follow the concept of limiting properties. Here we can do it directly, e to the power minus st by minus s 0 to infinity is equal to minus 1 by s, we can write, then 1 by e to the power st. Just I am doing it very simplified manner. You can do it in some little more less steps, but as it is the very basic one, we are doing it like this. So it will be 1 by infinity, because infinity if I substitute we will get this one, and minus 1 by 1. So what we get actually 1 by s as the result, where s is greater than 0. So this is your first example of Laplace transform, the easiest example where we are establishing the Laplace transform of 1. Then we are moving for another problem, and suppose we are trying to find out Laplace transform of t to the power n. So according to definition, it will be 0 to infinity e to the power minus st then t to the power n dt. So 0 to infinity, we can write it e to the power minus st into t to the power n plus 1 minus 1 dt, and we will recall our general concept of gamma function. So we can write it as gamma n plus 1 from following this definition by s to the power n plus 1, where n is greater than minus 1 and s is greater than 0. Because just for your reference we can mention it, as we know 0 to infinity e to the power minus ax x to the power n minus 1 dx is equal to gamma n by a to the power n, where a is greater than 0 and n is greater than 0. Okay, applying this concept over here, we got the result of this second property of Laplace transform. These are very simple problems, but when we are going to use the bigger formats for Laplace transform, we will use these results directly. So we can now move for another standard format of Laplace transform, which is of exponential function e to the power at. So according to definition, we can go for 0 to infinity e to the power minus st into e to the power at dt. So it will be a very simple integration. Simplifying, we can write it as e to the power minus s minus a dt. Now we are applying the standard process of improper integration. So we are writing it as b tends to infinity, limit b tends to infinity 0 to b, and we are writing it at e to the power minus s minus a dt. Obviously here s minus a, there will be s minus a t it will be also s minus a t. Okay, so in the next line we can write it as limit b tends to infinity e to the power minus s minus a into t by minus s minus a 0 to b. So in the next line we can write it as limit b tends to infinity. We are going to substitute b first, so we will get it as 1. If we put 0, you will get 1 over here, and 1 by s minus a I have to take common. After that, minus e to the power minus of s minus a into b into 1 by s minus a. So now this limit gives you the result as 1 by s minus a, where obviously s is greater than a. So we got 3 results over here for the basic problems of Laplace transform. Laplace transform of 1, we got it as 1 by s. Then we got Laplace transform of 1 t to the power n, and then we got Laplace transform of exponential function e to the power at. We are now going to show you one more basic structure for Laplace transform. So it is Laplace transform of sine function, sine at. So we can go for the basic definition, 0 to infinity e to the power minus st sine at dt, and all of we have to use the standard results for this integration, e to the power ax sine bx or e to the power ax cos bx. Here we are now applying the concept of improper integration 0 to b, and we can write it as e to the power minus st sine at dt. So in the next line we can go for limit b tends to infinity e to the power minus st by s square plus s square. In the meantime, I want to request all of my viewers to do these integrations at least in your own space one more time explicitly, so that you have not to memorize the thing. You can get your confidence while you are doing this integration. In case of examination time, obviously you can use it directly, but we must know the inner thing of this one. So in the next line we can go for limit b tends to infinity a by s square plus s square minus e to the power minus sb by s square plus s square into s sine ab plus a cos ab. Now only one thing is remaining, limit b tends to infinity we have to substitute, and we can write it as the first term is not depending on b, a by s square plus s square, and the remaining term will become 0 because e to the power minus sb will bring it the whole term 0 when b tends to infinity. So we just have to mention is here that s is greater than 0. In the similar manner, we can find out Laplace transform of cos at, which will be s by s square plus s square, s greater than 0. We can find out two more interesting results. Laplace transform of cos hyperbolic at, which will be s by s square minus s square. So please do these problems explicitly in your home. And Laplace transform of sine hyperbolic at will be a by s square minus s square, where s is greater than modulus of a. So in this first lecture we are not extending any more examples. I just want to mention that these are the references what obviously you can follow, and there are some simple assignments for you. Don't restrict yourself only for these types of problems. And finally, I want to thank you all. Happy listening, happy learning.